Hey there, guys. I hope you're all feeling good today. My name's Kenny. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I wanted to talk right now about how I'm a socially anxious person. And this is something that I've brought up in the past before several times on my channel and talked about it. Uh, but I really want to just talk about this a little bit more. I think the more I talk about this, each time it gives me an opportunity to maybe say something new that I haven't said before or put things in a different way that maybe will be, something that others can relate to. So that's ultimately the purpose for me to talk about this sort of thing is to bring attention to, I mean, number one, the fact that there are people out there that have social anxiety, that there are people out there that are really afraid of talking to people or being around a lot of people or doing things in front of people. I think that when it comes to social anxiety, the one thing that a lot of people can relate to is the fear of public speaking. But of course, social anxiety is a lot more than that. In fact, I would even say that I don't even really have a problem with public speaking. I do a little bit. I definitely would be nervous if I had to give a speech or something. But there's something about one-on-one interactions with people that I don't know, talking to people that like talking to strangers or whatever. It's so uncomfortable for me, and I panic at times. Um, and anyway, before I even get into this, like I just want to talk right now about sort of my experience and sort of what it's like for me. And yes, I have gotten better, and I am continuously trying to challenge myself to improve in this area. Trying to challenge myself to just talk to people when I don't want to, or to do things in front of people. Um, so as I talk about this, I really would appreciate it if those of you who have social anxiety or consider yourself to be somebody who's socially anxious, could you please share your experience in the comments and what it's like for you and maybe what you struggle with the most? And then also, if you're somebody who's improved, how does a person with social anxiety get better? I think that's really, I mean, really, that's the ultimate thing that I want a lot of this conversation to lead up to is potential solutions for getting better, right? Because for me, this fear of other people, right? This fear, it's really what it is. It's a fear of judgment, right? It's a fear that other people are going to think negatively of me. And the thing that I don't think necessarily everybody understands about this is that the reason why you're afraid, or a person would be afraid of what other people are thinking of them, is because they themselves have a low self-esteem and for example, for me, I think so negatively of myself. I don't have a lot of confidence in myself, and I always assume that I'm going to embarrass myself in front of people, which is why I don't like doing things in front of people. So I just assume that, well, if I don't like me, if I think I'm no good, if I think I'm, you know, pathetic or something. Well, I bet other people are gonna look at me and be like, "What the heck is that guy doing?" Or, "Oh, that guy's weird," or, "Oh, this guy's dumb," or, "Oh, whatever it is that I think other people are gonna think about me." Right? That is sort of the source of a lot of this social anxiety, in my opinion. At least for me personally, it comes from a lack of confidence. So my lack of confidence in my ability to socialize with people and talk to people, but also just to be myself around others. Like there's I actually um like one of the examples that like you'll read and hear if you look up social anxiety online is, potential symptoms. One of them is people who are afraid to, or afraid, I guess, yeah, afraid is the right word. People who don't want to eat in front of other people, right? Like that's like this thing that could be a symptom. And I don't necessarily have that problem, right? I don't mind eating in front of people. But with that being said, when I'm at my workplace in our break room, right, we'll go on break. There'll be like 5, 10 people in the room, different tables set up, for us. I will feel very uncomfortable going into that room. And like like I don't bring food to work. I don't eat lunch at work. Like I know that sounds weird. I go all day. I wake up at 5 in the morning and I don't eat until I get home at like 2, 3 o'clock. So I don't have breakfast. I don't. I'll sometimes have a snack or something like a granola bar or whatever, but or a bag of chips or something. But other than that, that doesn't really have a lot to do with me. That really doesn't have anything to do with my social anxiety. But maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe I do feel uncomfortable bringing food to work because then I would have to heat it up in the microwave if it's one of those kinds of foods, right? And I don't want to do that in front of people. That's kind of a real thing, I guess. Like sitting down, like what if they think my food's weird, or what if they think that I don't eat right? I don't know. Like I guess I don't really ever think about, like I don't have a problem eating at a restaurant or anything. So I don't know why. I don't like doing things in front of people. So the food thing was a not really an example for me personally, right? It's more of something that like I hear about. But for me personally, the thing that is really, really like the thing that I struggle with is like if there's just a bunch of people standing somewhere, right? And let's just say I'm at work and I got to go do something right next to them. I just won't go do it. Like I'll freak out. That's the way that I describe it. Like I freak out, I panic. I don't know. I get afraid of taking any sort of action around other people because I don't want them to see me doing it. Um, I avoid people. I avoid. I don't really have like a problem with crowds necessarily, but I will say there's been an event that I went to this year that like I went there and like there's just a lot of people around and I was just like I don't want to be here. Right? That's kind of how I feel a lot of the times is when I'm around a lot of people, I don't want to be here. And it does get intense a lot. It can build up in me to the point where I'm like I have to leave right now. Like this is a problem. I cannot mentally handle being around everybody. And a lot of it is because I'm afraid that somebody somewhere is looking at me and thinking something about me, judging me, whatever, right? So when it comes to crowds, yeah, I mean, I'll occasionally have that problem. Um, but I think that as I've gotten older, I am getting better. I am building confidence in myself, first of all, so I don't have this problem as much. Certainly when I was younger, it was more of a problem. I think it's really not well understood by people. I think that the average person who maybe doesn't have a problem with this, who's not socially anxious, somebody who maybe is more confident in themselves, there's a lot of people out there who are just not aware that people like this exist. Or they just don't understand. Like I feel like a lot of people who know me just know me as somebody who doesn't talk a lot, somebody who's quiet. Oh yeah, maybe I'm a little bit shy. I mean, that's the word that people use, right? When I was growing up as a little kid, like my parents would always say, "Oh yeah, Kenny, he's really shy," but it's not something that I grew out of as I got older, right? I still struggle with this. Certainly in my early 20s, right? So we're talking, we'll say 5, 10 years ago, my teens and early 20s, I would say it was the worst. As I've gotten older, hitting 25, I think that I started to really focus on it more, grow a little bit more. And today, like, it still does affect me, but like I can think of some examples where like I would avoid I wouldn't even go to a store, right? I knew that I would have to go to the store to get something, but I wouldn't. Or I would like I would think about maybe something I had to go do days in advance and just like all that I guess anxiety, I guess, right, would build up and all that worrying and all that I don't want to do it and like just because of the fact that I have to go out around other people, right, and be around people. It's just it does it does affect my life in that way of just avoiding things and it doesn't really help where I'm currently in a relationship, right? And you know my girlfriend, she wants to go out and do things all the time, and it has caused a problem in the past, not so much recently. But in the past, I mean, like, yeah, it's probably something she doesn't like very much. And like there was one time where we were gonna go to the gym and work out, and that's not something that I do. I don't go to the gym. I don't work out. I don't think she really does either. So it was one of these things where it was like us, hey, let's go to the gym for once. Let's actually be healthy. Let's go together. We'll support each other, whatever. And we get to the parking lot, and I'm just like, it hit me. It hit me that I would have to go inside and work out in front of other people. And I told her, I said, I'm not gonna go inside. I'm sorry. And she kind of got mad. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why? And I just told her, I'm not going to, And I remember that very, very distinctly. Something that happened, many years ago, but it was like it is the most like clear example that I have of just my social anxiety preventing me from just doing something so simple, like just because of my fear of other people and doing things in front of other people. Yeah. Um, but I do feel like maybe this isn't very well understood. I feel like I feel like maybe even a lot of people who have social anxiety don't consider themselves to have social anxiety. I don't know. It might be something that doesn't affect people as much as others, or maybe it does affect certain people a lot more than other people. For me, I mean, it's a significant part of who I am in my life and a struggle that I've always had. And like I said, I'm trying to work on it. I think the biggest thing for me is the biggest thing that's helped me is really learning that, you know, other people probably don't think about me as much as I think they do. And that's the truth. I think that one of the biggest pieces of advice that you can give somebody who's maybe insecure about themselves or is anxious around people, thinking like worried that they're judging them, is like, hey, other people actually don't care about you as much as you think they do. Like, maybe you're so in your own head thinking about yourself all the time that you just think, oh, everybody's judging me all the time and thinking different things about me, or they're probably talking behind my back. The truth is that everybody else has their own life, their own things that they're focusing on. You're a very small part of it, and they probably hardly ever think about you. And that's really the truth, is that nobody really cares about you as much as you care about you, right? So if you can figure out how to accept yourself as who you are, for who you are, and love yourself for who you are, and feel good about who you are, and build that confidence, build that self-esteem, then you might not have this problem as much. You will not care about other people's opinions about you the same way the same way you don't judge other people, right? Like, think about it, right? Like, you probably don't care about other people, right? You don't judge them. You don't think negative things about other people all the time, right? So they don't think that way about you as well. And if you have enough confidence, you just don't care, right? You walk around and you're like, I don't care what people think about me. I am me. I like me. That's all that matters, right? And I know that's hard. It's a hard place to get to if you're starting from a point of very bad social anxiety. But I think that for me, I just take it one step at a time. Try to get better, try to feel good about myself, try to challenge myself to talk to people. Try to challenge myself to just you know sometimes I feel like like I think what I've described in this video is how I struggle doing things in front of other people and going in places where other people are there, maybe a lot of people, whatever. I think like, I have to remind myself, you are a normal person. You are blending in with everybody, right? It's almost like just stop thinking that you stand out in any way, right? Like, you are fine. You are normal, and that's what I always have to tell myself. But anyway, point is, I have social anxiety. I've always had it, and it's just affected me. And I want to use this YouTube channel. I want to talk about this sort of thing on my channel, to kind of just share my experience and be, and maybe see if those of you guys who are watching can relate to any of this stuff. And I really do hope that if you do relate to this stuff, that you will talk about your experiences. Maybe something that I didn't mention, um, maybe you can mention about yourself in the comments. And yeah, I just want to see this community here grow of people who are all sort of, willing to share their experiences about, whether it's struggles with self-esteem or depression or social anxiety or feelings of loneliness, like, let's talk about this stuff. Let's try to get better, and try to feel good in our lives. And that's what this is all about. So, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope to see you guys in my next one. Yeah, take care.